This is All India Radio, Trichurapalli. In our program of English, we bring you a talk titled The Vision and Mission of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam by Dr. S. Papu Benjamin Ilango.
His Excellency Bharat Ratna, former President of India, Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam, though mortally left us on 27th of July 2015, has become immortal by his checkered life of sagas and successful and singular contribution to India. As a selfless scientist, a pragmatic people's president, and a philanthropic teacher to the teeming millions of the youth of India. His vision and mission for India to transform it into a developed India has become the future path of all citizens of India to become a self-reliant nation and to emerge as one among the four economic powers by 2020. One of the young girl students was asked by Mr. Kalam, "What's your dream?" The confident young girl responded, "I want to live in a developed India." Yes, that's a heartfelt wish and hope of every youth of India today. Undoubtedly, his sudden demise has created a void in his consistent, sacred, and pragmatic exhorting of the youth of India. Yet, his exemplary words and deeds would always guide us to march ahead with determination. Whenever Mahatma Gandhi was asked, "What's your message to our nation?" he politely replied, "My life is my message." Thus, in the case of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam also, his impeccable life has become the ever-guiding message to India and humanity. He regarded India as a knowledge superpower and developed nation. His dedicated ventures into India's nuclear weapons program served as the promising solutions to establish India's position as a future superpower. He sincerely wished that his dream and vision of transmuting India into a developed country should be the dream of all the citizens of India to make the dream come true. To actualize this dream, Dr. Kalam has advocated to the youth of India an action plan to develop India into a strong nation by the year 2020 through his books, interactive lectures, seminars, and social media. In his monumental book, India 2020, Dr. Kalam envisions the revolutionary and practicable procedures and measures to be expedited in the realms of information technology, food, agriculture and processing, materials for production, chemical wealth, chemical and industries, and our biological health. Pura, providing urban amenities in rural area, manufacturing for India's future, services as people's wealth, strategic industries, health care for all, the enabling infrastructure, and the ways to study hard. Dr. Kalam states, a developed India by 2020 or even earlier is not a dream. It need not be a mere vision in the minds of many Indians. It is a mission we can all take up and succeed. India Vision 2020 was primarily a document prepared by the Technology Information Forecasting and Assessment Council of India's Department of Science and Technology under the able chairmanship of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam and a dedicated team of 500 experts. Dr. Kalam describes in detail his vision in his book India 2020, A Vision for the New Millennium, which he co-authored with Dr. Y.S. Rajan. Dr. Kalam describes his vision and mission as follows. Transforming the nation into a developed country. 5 areas in combination have been identified based on India's core competence natural resources, and talented manpower for integrated action to double the growth rate of GDP and realize the vision of developed India. He specifies 5 core areas of development to achieve this goal. The first area is agriculture and food processing, aimed at doubling the current production of agricultural and food processing. The second area includes the infrastructure with reliable electric power, providing urban amenities to rural areas, and increasing solar power operations. The third area consists of education and healthcare directed towards illiteracy, social security, and overall health for population. The fourth area is information and communication technology for increased e-governance to promote education in remote areas, telecommunication and telemedicine, and to promote critical technologies and strategic industries. The fifth area comprises the growth of nuclear technology, space technology, and defense technology. Dr. Kalam has proved his mettle as a scientist with a clear vision and an uncompromising nationalist, an architect of strong India with an action plan for 2020, an inspiring teacher to the young students of India, and as a statesman with a matchless simplicity of life and greatness of prophetic wisdom. After his schooling in Rameswaram in Tamil medium and BSc Physics in St. Joseph's College, Trichy from 1950 to 1954, he joined the Madras Institute of Technology to pursue aerospace engineering from 1955 to 1960. Then he joined the job of a civilian rocket engineer in DRDO, Bangalore. He rose to the coveted status of a missile technologist on July 18th in 1980s. Dr. Kalam became the project director of the Satellite Launch Vehicle 3 in ISRO. With this phase, India joined the Space Odyssey in collaboration with the US, Russia, France, Japan, and China. Projects like development of the missiles, namely Prithvi, Akash, Trishul, and Nag, were successful under his role as the director of the Defense Research and Development Laboratory, DRDL, at Hyderabad. He reiterated the development of lighter motor casings by ISRO and DRDO to facilitate the space vehicles carry a heavier payload. He played a vital role in the development of a unique Agni missile built with a re-entry technology. In May 1988, in the position of the scientific advisor to the defense minister, he was the master brain behind the most successful nuclear tests of India at Pokhran and the production of BrahMos missile. The humane scientist Dr. Kalam rejoiced in seeing the differently abled children wearing lightweight artificial legs, calipers, running and cycling. It was his invention, much lauded by himself and others. Dr. Abdul Kalam, as 11th President, reached the students and Indian people as people's president with his inborn altruistic human compassion. Drawing the fire from his Jesuit orientation in St. Joseph's College, he metamorphosed himself into a selfless man for others. He began to dedicate his whole life for the betterment of the underprivileged and the hapless millions of India reeling in misery under below poverty line. He reached out to these students and ignited their minds of creativity with thought-provoking and brainstorming interactive sessions across India. Even after demitting his presidential post, he traveled far and wide across the nation with an unquenchable zeal to motivate, guide, and inspire the young students with a noble vision and mission of empowering our future leaders in all walks of life. On 18th July, before going to Shillong, he met his former professor, Reverend Father Chinadurai S.J., to get his blessings. Dr. Kalam's vision and mission are manifested in his golden sayings, which would overcome the onslaught of time and space and remain the beacon light for the youth of India. His unflinching faith in God emboldened him against all the odds in his life. He encourages the young minds thus: "This is my belief that through difficulties and problems, God gives us the opportunity to grow. So when your hopes and dreams and goals are dashed, search among the wreckage. You may find a golden opportunity hidden in the ruins." As a prophetic visionary, he exhorts the youth to know the secret of being successful. He states, "To succeed in life and achieve results, you must understand and master three mighty forces: desire, belief, and expectation." His vision for a sustainable development of the nation includes the improvement of the 700 million people who live in 6 lakh villages of India by developing systems that would act as enablers for inclusive growth. It includes the physical, knowledge, and electronic connectivities, which would bring economic connectivity to people in rural areas by acting as broad enabling systems. To free India from the clutches of corruptive forces, Dr. Kalam proposes his vision and mission thus: if a country is to be corruption-free and become a nation of beautiful minds, I strongly feel there are 3 key societal members who can make a difference. They are the father, the mother, and the teacher. He wishes the youth of India to serve the larger humanity of the world, following the immortal dictum of the Sangam poet Kaniyan Pungundranar as follows: "Yadum Ure Yavarum Kelir. All are my native places and all are my kith and kin." Let our young generation draw their strength and vigor from the eternal well of Dr. Kalam's divine vision and mission to be the loyal sons and daughters of our Bharat Mata to transform our India into a developed nation.
You just heard a talk titled The Vision and Mission of Dr. APJ Abdul Kalam by Dr. S. Papu Benjamin Ilango. This broadcast came to you from All India Radio, Trichinopalli.